everyone, Hayley Paige here. Welcome back to Just Got Paged. Today we are making stuff up. We're making up the face. I'm hopping on the beauty bandwagon as I thought it'd be fun to do a quick everyday makeup tutorial. These are just my go-to products when I'm trying to just whip on a good face. Don't forget to subscribe, but please let me know what your makeup tricks are and if you have any questions or comments. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Now, I like to just start with a very basic wipe down. I use these Bliss makeup melts. They're oil-free, they're really soft and gentle, and they're good on tough stains that you didn't even know you had on your face. So I just like to start with a clean canvas, wipe it on down, get your neck. Now we're gonna move on to a youth oil. I love these Snow Fox products. I have pretty dry skin, so I like to use a few drops of this first and foremost, just to like seep into the skin. Okay, now on to my favorite new, what is this called? Instrument. But what this does is kind of help get the product into the skin, and I also like to kind of consider it a depuffer. I use it kind of in the direction where I want my face to go. So like up. And I do about 50 of these total, like all over my face. Also, side note, this whole everyday makeup routine should only take about 5 minutes once you have it down. But saying 5 minutes is also like saying I'm on my way when I'm totally running late. I don't know if I'm going in the best order, but I like to put on my hydrator slash moisturizer next because I actually like it to kind of blend with my tinted moisturizer. This stuff from Bliss is literally like throwing water on your face. It is so quenching, which is also probably why it's called Drench and Quench. Just dab it in. And I actually kind of like to leave a little bit, like a little film layer, so that it can really pick up on the tinted moisturizer. You might be hearing my dog Winnie in the background. She's chewing on a bone. It's not just like weird sounds from my household. Okay, so I love this tinted moisturizer. I've been using this for a long time. Lauramercier in Warm Radiance. It gives off this nice like pearlescent slash iridescent film. So I like that to kind of mix in with the Bliss moisturizer. Put that on. I just use my hands, but you could definitely use a beauty brush of some sort to put this tinted moisturizer in. And I also like to make sure to get this area here because sometimes I like miss certain spots of my hairline. So I really like to rub it in, and I'm not too perfect with it. Okay, now I move on to a concealer, and I have two different ones. So I use this by Lauramercier, and it's called Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer. I put this on my under eye area and anywhere where I wanna kind of bring highlight to the face. I start with this area, and I guess you're supposed to kind of draw upside down triangles, but you know, sometimes I just draw whatever I feel. And then I also use this Naked Skin by Urbandecay. So I just go in the areas where I feel like I have some blemishes that need just a little coverage. And then what I do now is I blend this, and you can use your hands. So I always use my hands to start. I basically just kind of go in and do a little ambidextrous blending here. Patting the skin, waking up my face. This part is like my favorite here because it just like brightens up the under eyes and the cheekbones. All right, so then I kind of just go over all of this blending with a beauty blender. I love these, they're so squishy and soft, but I just do it a nice little, Now I move on to Huda Beauty. It's actually a baking powder, but I use it for a setting powder, but I do like to really emphasize the under area again. What I do is I kind of apply it pretty generously under the eyes and just kind of leave it on for it to set in. Okay, it's set. This is a 5-minute routine, people. And then what I do is I actually kind of blend it all over my face as if it is a powder. And I feel like it just kind of finishes off all the tinted moisturizer and concealer that I put on. Apparently you are supposed to kind of wipe this stuff off, so we'll get that kind of wiped off again with a beauty blender. That's that. But first, we've got a bronze. So this bronzer I have actually had since I can remember ever using makeup, and it was one of the first products my mom bought for me when I was really interested in experimenting with makeup. So I love just kind of adding the shading under my cheekbones to give a little more definition. And then also kind of at the jawline, contour, contour. We all run on coffee, contour, and confidence. And I also love to use the bronzer as an eyeshadow. I actually hate wearing eyeshadow because I always get the crease lines like right here, and no matter how much primer or what product I use, I seem to have issues with it. So if you have a successful little trick, do share below. And I like to put the bronzer kind of along the hairline and blend it. Sometimes I even like put it in the scalp just to kind of further blend. All right, so that's the bronzer. Going overboard. Okay, then we go back on the beauty blender and I just take this time to really make sure I didn't leave any crazy lines, like so. Now this really is a full face of makeup in a way, but I do like to kind of keep it looking pretty natural. And since it's quick to do, I also see that there's benefits in if I have to do a quick on-camera time or an Instagram post or something, I'll at least feel pretty fresh and ready to go. Of course, my routine is much different when I have to do like massive filming or anything for runway shows or trunk shows, so maybe I'll do a different tutorial for that. Okay, so moving on for highlighter. This L'Oreal product, it's called Magic Lumi. I love it so much because one, we have a dress named Lumi, but also it adds this like bit of shine right to your cheekbones and the top of your nose. So I like to just put this on as a last step in the face game. And I kind of like to let it set for a minute and then blend it in. And with this, I really just use my hand because I like the blotting effect it makes. Okay, now we're moving on to brows. Oh, brows. Had I known how major brows were gonna be later in life, I wouldn't have plucked them all out when I was like 11. I feel like brows are like the software of makeup. Like just when you think you have it down, there's a new software coming out that you've gotta learn. So first and foremost, I like to just comb my brows up slightly. Then I like to move on to this fun little knick-knack. It's from Lancome and it's called Bushy Brow. And it's a precision pen, so you can actually like draw in little hairs. Let's just shape these babies up. Eyebrows are the one thing that we can get into shape without having to exercise. Am I right? This little pen is so fun because it works like drawing basically, and you can just draw little hairs on, and it's super fine. So it doesn't look like you're literally markering in your brows. And then I move on to the iconic Anastasia brow pen. This just helps kind of fill in my brows more. And again, I don't like to fully draw them in, but I do like to kind of give the appearance that it's like little hairs. Of all things, I feel like the brow takes the longest to do. Cool, so that's kind of the look of the brow that I'm going for now. I don't know if it's on trend or not on trend, but I guess it works for my face. And then one of my other fun little tricks is that instead of a brow gel, I actually like to use castor oil. Apparently it's supposed to stimulate hair growth, and I'm trying to get that bushy look going. So I use a little bit of this instead of brow gel. I just kind of coat the base of a mascara brush, and then I just brush upward. And that kind of keeps them in place and a little bit shiny. Okay, done with the brows. Now we are moving on to eyes, which is my least favorite part. I have very squinty eyes, and sometimes when I smile, they just completely disappear. So I like to create a little bit of a wing effect, especially if it's just an everyday thing, and add a little mascara, but I don't do eyeshadow. Again, I just do a little bit of bronzer just to kind of add some depth. So I start with just a basic liner, and this is a liquid liner from Rodial. It's super fine and super forgiving, which we need because it's really hard to wing it. So here we go, we're just gonna line the sides of my eyes and outward, not go across the whole thing. And that is actually pretty hard to do with one hand, because usually like I use the other finger to kind of like shape it, but whatever, it's close enough. That's basically the look. Now let's see how savage we can get with the other side, because this one's always a mess. Okay, because we're gonna have to come back and reapply a bit after we do the next step, which is curling those lashes. So I like to hold it for at least 5 seconds to get some bounce. Other side. Perfect, they're curled. I'm gonna go back in and reapply just where I need it. Great, there's my winging. Okay, now we're just gonna do some mascara. I do a basic primer. This is by Lancome, fun little booster that I put on pre-mascara, adds some length. I have basically no lashes at all. And I've never tried fake lashes except for like the strips or the individuals when it's for an event. But if you have a good place that you use in New York, I might just be up for trying it. Do the tips. I also do my bottom lashes. Do you wanna build a snowman? And then, okay, so this mascara is so cool. It's from Lancome and it's called Grandiose. But I think what's super cool about it is it's got this like, this creepy, curvy brush. And I think it makes it a lot easier to apply. And I'll be sure to link all these products below. Rival out which products are better. I also don't know who can apply makeup without keeping their mouth open. It's like trying to sneeze without closing your eyes. So that's pretty much everything except for a smooch. My go-to lip enhancer is this milk cream. It's very matte and I love that it goes on really smooth and creamy. I don't really love lip liners, but I love to just have this all over my lip and not be too perfect with it and then just kind of blend it. I talk a lot during my days, so I feel like this has to be reapplied quite a bit. But if anyone has tips for how to not get it clumpy, especially red lips, please write below. 2 last things, finishers. I love this setting spray from Urbandecay. Make sure to close your eyes and not breathe in like I just did. And last but not least, taking a page out of Jim Carrey's book. Here is my everyday makeup. Doesn't really change much. I do like just rocking a brow. I feel like if you're not gonna do anything, but you still want just something, I feel like the brow is where it's at. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and like, comment, subscribe below. Let me know if you have any tips for me or any products that you love and you want me to try. And we'll do some other videos, maybe one about how I get ready for a fashion show or a trunk show or a date. Maybe we'll let Conrad do my makeup sometime. Thank you for joining me today. And your quick pro tip is to not feel pressured to be made up all the time. Great to rock the au naturel look and just to be beaming with your smile. My other tip is for wedding day makeup. So great to make sure you get your tutorial in, but if you can synchronize the day that you're doing your makeup and hair tutorial on the same day as your dress fitting, it's kind of like a dress rehearsal. So you can really make sure that you love the whole look. Thanks again for tuning in to Just Got Paged, and we will see you next time.